How's that looking? We got a different setup today. Okay, here we go. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Steph Castelein, and if you are new here, welcome to my channel. I help new bloggers start and grow their blogs by sharing more of my own journey and things that I've learned along the way. Today I want to show you one thing that you can do if you are struggling to pick a niche for your blog. No matter where you are on your blogging journey, you've heard how important it is to pick a niche, and I totally agree with this. So if you have a specific skill or talent or like topic that you're gonna talk about, stick with that. Don't dilute your blog talking about so many other things. Like, stick to that specific niche. But if you're like me, someone who wanted to be more of a lifestyle blogger and talk about experiences and trips and travel and just more about life and sharing that with my readers, with your readers, this video is gonna help you. But I wanna emphasize how important it is to still pick a niche. But it's so important to niche down as much as you can for 3 reasons. 1, for Google and SEO. You're gonna be found if your whole blog and website revolves around, you know, a specific focused in topic. Number 2, having a niche helps your followers. It helps them know like who they're following and what they can expect from you. And 3, it helps you. It helps you come up with content. It helps you think of things to write about, and it helps give you like a focus, you know, for your future blog posts. So picking a niche and honing in on that, like narrowing it down as much as you can, is so important, but it is paralyzing. It can be so paralyzing. It was for me. There are so many different things to talk about, and I wanted to talk about them all. I didn't want to like put myself in a box and only get to talk about this one thing. And for so long, I didn't actually follow through with my blog because I didn't have a plan, and I didn't want to put myself in this box of one niche. But then everything that I looked up online said, you need a niche, you need a niche, you need to have a niche, you need to pick the niche, you need to focus on this niche, you need to talk about the niche. And I was like, oh, I just want to talk about like my life. How can I make this work? And that's when I started looking at my niche as a theme, actually having a theme for my blog, an umbrella that all of my topics, my main things that I talk about, that they live under. So if you're a lifestyle blogger, someone like me who wanted to talk about a little bit of anything and everything, but you keep hearing about this niche and you don't want to be boxed in, but you want to start this blog and you're confused and you don't have a plan, and so therefore you're not blogging, stick with me on this. Think of your niche as a theme, and I want you to do this one thing. Here it is. This is what the video is about. Here's what I suggest for you, what I think will really help you find your niche, aka your theme for your blog. I want you to write out 5 full blog posts. 5 full blog posts, like fully complete, start to finish. You're gonna have a title, you're gonna have pictures, you're gonna have headlines in bold and italics. What's gonna happen when you actually write 5 full blog posts is you're gonna see what works. You're gonna see what you can actually write about, what you want to write about, what you enjoy writing about, because it's easy to have it up here thinking that you can write about anything and everything. So for example, say that I like to write about my cat and northern Michigan and living in a cabin and love and adventures and cooking and gardening and meal planning and running and exercising and drinking enough water every day, and I mean on and on and on. Like, I could literally talk about those things. They all come up in conversations and things I post on Instagram and things I talk about friends and family with. And so in my mind, it makes sense that I would blog about all those things, that I would blog about all those things and share about those things. But what sounds good up here and being translated into actually writing isn't always the same thing. So as I go to write, if I go to write 5 blog posts, maybe with those like 10 plus ideas, I find that I actually don't want to blog often about my cat. I love my cat, I enjoy my cat, I want my readers to know that my cat is part of my life, but maybe I don't do actual like sections of blog post on my cat. Maybe once in a blue moon, but like that actually isn't a topic that I include in my blog. And maybe I'm really passionate about exercise and drinking enough water, but again, maybe that isn't one of my main topics. Like, maybe when I sit down to actually write, it sounds good up here, it's something that I can talk about and share on like Instagram and a little bit throughout my blog, but like I'm not writing full-on blog posts focused on exercise and drinking water. Instead, maybe I find myself able to talk about northern Michigan, to talk about the lake that we live on, the hiking paths that we continue to find, the nature preserves that we have in this area. You know, maybe like that becomes a focus because those are the things that I'm doing often, those are the things that I want to share with people, those are the things that I find exciting and am able to write about. And maybe it also is food planning and meal prep because that goes hand in hand with, you know, preparing for a week or being able to take those adventures or whatever that looks like for you. Do you see what I'm saying with this? Like, what sounds good up here, what sounds good in theory, what you're gonna write about, what you're gonna do, what your blog is gonna be about, doesn't always translate into writing, into great quality, exciting blog posts that you're excited about. Not just your readers and your followers, that you're excited about to come back week after week, day after day, and like continue writing and sharing with others. So many people who want to blog start off by creating a website. They dive into the technical side and make it look really good. Then they come up with a clever name. They write that first blog post that is like, hey, I'm doing this new thing. I'm starting a blog. I'm gonna share more of my journey. I'm not quite sure what this looks like, but thanks for being here and follow along. And then crickets. There's no writing, there's no consistency, and quite frankly, the blog sizzles out and they cross their fingers that hopefully no one really remembers that first blog post that they put out there and we're all excited about. If this sounds familiar, and it sure does for me, like, you're not alone here. This has happened many times over my blogging journey, especially when I was just getting started, and it's because you don't have a plan or a vision for what your blog is yet. You don't have a theme for your blog yet. You haven't decided on that niche, and this is where you start spinning your wheels in circles, trying to figure out if your audience even cares about this, if you even care about this, and like what you thought was great in theory actually doesn't translate on paper, and it just really becomes frustrating and you end up quitting. And yes, this is all too familiar. So here's what you can do. If you've dabbled in blogging before, or started and stopped, or been thinking about starting a blog but haven't followed through with it yet, try this out. Pick, 10 to 15 things, as many as you want. Write down all the things that you think that you could talk about. Write them all down, all the ideas, the questions that you get from people all the time. Ask your family and friends what they think that you would be good at writing about. Write down your skills or your talents. Write down what excites you, or maybe, a journey that you've been on that you've struggled with that you can help people get to where you are. Write down any and all of the ideas that you have, and then continue to whittle that down to about 3 to 5 ideas. The less you can get, the better. Like, the more focused and niche down, you do want to niche down here. Like, this is the goal of what we're doing, of creating and establishing a theme, is niching down and like focusing on a specific topic, a theme for your blog, but niche down as much as you can. So your goal would be to have about 5 main things, but if you can get less, try to get less. And from those 3 to 5 things, now I want you to come up with 5 blog posts. They don't have to be a blog post on each topic, but I want you to sit down and actually come up with blog post ideas revolving around those 5 things, and then actually write out 5 blog posts. You don't even need a blog or a website or a place to publish these. What I want you to do is get comfortable with the idea of creating content, of coming up with those blog ideas, and again, of taking what's up here and translating it into actual writing, actual work, actual content that you're going to share with others. And when you write those 5 blog posts, you'll start seeing a theme. You'll start seeing the theme of what you want to write about, what excites you about in writing, and what, again, translates from here to actual writing. So you're gonna start seeing the theme, and then from there, you're gonna establish your theme. So take what you talk about the most, take what you continue to reference back to, take the common thread from those 5 blog posts, sew them all together, and create a theme, create a niche for your blog, for your lifestyle blog. So you can still talk about all those topics that I mentioned as examples before. You can still do a blog post on your cat if you want to. Maybe your cat isn't a main topic for your blog, but it's something that you talk about within your blog post and your readers know. So use this idea to find the theme for your blog and come up with those patterns that emerge because of the work that you're actually able to create. Not just up here, but actually creating. I want to share with you my own experience with this because I didn't quite do it this way, but I basically did. It's what helped me find my theme, find my voice, and establish each day slow. So I've started a few different blogs. I've dabbled here and there. I've started and quit many, and it's part of the journey. It's part of the learning process. It's part of finding your voice. But basically, I was traveling a lot, but I didn't want to be a travel blogger because I knew that I wouldn't be traveling for the rest of my life. So I was like, if I start this travel blog, put myself in this box of having this specific niche, what happens when I stop traveling? Like, what am I going to blog about? So it basically paralyzed me and kept me from blogging for a long time because I did not want to pick a niche. Like, I refused. But there came this time when I was like, Steph, you either need to start a proper blog for real or like give up this dream because you can't keep doing this in-between thing. And so what I did was I committed to writing 1 blog post a week, and then I'd quickly up that to 2 because I was creating this content, and I just committed to writing. I'm like, I don't have a niche, I don't have a theme, I kind of am all over the place, and I had about like 5 to 7 topics that I wanted to talk about, and I just started writing and publishing blog posts. And I was able to keep up with that. I was able to stay consistent, and as I did that, I found my voice. I found, you know, what topics I liked talking about, what topics my readers liked talking about, what topics people wanted to know more about. I found out which ones were popular. I found out what was able to get from here onto actual paper and be published as blog posts. And most importantly, I was able to come up with my theme, which is slow living, focusing on slow living and being present and in the moment. And that's where I got the name Each Day Slow. So as I was writing and just being consistent at the very beginning, I had my website built, I had my blog, I wanted a place where I was sending people, but I just used my own name as the domain name. I used StephCastelein.com and just went with it. I was like, again, I don't know my niche. I don't have like a blog name for this that I want for the end of all time, so I'm just gonna use my name. But I need to start writing. And when I did, I noticed this pattern of slow living. Like I talked about it all the time in my blog posts. I talked about it all the time in my real life with Scott. That's how I came up with the theme for my blog, my niche. So all of my topics, they all focus on that slow living idea. But it's the same idea that I'm suggesting to you. If you are paralyzed from picking your niche because you don't want to be boxed in, because you have all these different ideas that you want to talk about, and then you're like, but what is my blog going to be about? Or what do I do and all this? Get your ideas from here down on paper and see what patterns emerge. It might be 1, 2, or 3 months down the road. Heck, you might change in a year. You probably will change at some point in time. But the idea is to get started, to get writing, to stay consistent, to find your voice, and develop that theme as you go. I hope you enjoyed this video today, but more importantly, go and actually do this. Come up with those 10 to 15 things that you could blog about, narrow it down to 5, and write those 5 blog posts. Put your thoughts into action and like create something that you're excited about and that you want to share with others. Thank you for joining me in this video today. I think it's one of those things that you're gonna look back on and be like, wow, like I was able to push through that. I was able to overcome that barrier and like build this thing, create this online business that I'm really excited about. But keep going, enjoy the journey, and if you need anything, let me know. I'm happy to help in any way that I can or answer any of your questions down below. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and it really helps me continue to grow, so I really appreciate that. And have yourself a wonderful day. We will see you on the next video. Talk to you soon. Bye.